Hi there, Scorpios, and welcome to your soulmate reading. So, I did a short for you, and I pulled a card for you, and it was the Five of Wands. Okay, so not the most ideal situation when it comes to a soulmate connection, right? Like, this woman is obviously in dire need of assistance, and we are like now in Scorpio season, okay? So it's like this energy is happening to you in real life right now. It's like you can really feel um, a lot of attacks coming at you right now, and you're like feeling like you can't do anything about it. Like you can't protect yourself, okay? Which is not true at all, okay? Scorpio, you can protect yourself. You can get out of this like horrible feeling that you have that you're being attacked right now. All right. So, and this is like a Five of Wands energy. All right. So this isn't coming from like a place where you have. I'm just feeling out like I feel like you think that this is your fault for some reason, Scorpio. Like I feel like you think that you're to blame for this situation when it's like no, that's what these people want you to think. These like toxic relationship, these toxic people, these toxic energies, they want you to think that you're trapped and you can't get out of this situation or there's no way out. When there really is a way out, when you really can get out of this situation. And it's Halloween season, right? And a lot of people will be, not so supportive of, um, us witchy, people in the world. But it doesn't matter, okay? It's like you still need to be yourself. So I'm going to read to you this magical action reading, okay? A magical action is no different from normal actions. It is often a symbolic representation that is shaped by will and intent and in turn shapes and affects the world. It is a symbol of real action and carries the same burdens and responsibilities, both ethical in facing the consequences of our choices and in understanding the sacrifices needed by our commitment. So, the representation of intent. This card is not drawn randomly, but it is chosen by the current. It represents what the current wants to achieve. Okay? I think you want to draw attention to the fact that it's like this isn't how you're supposed to treat women, right? Like obviously, men aren't going around and literally like burning witches at stakes, right? That's not happening. But violence against women is still happening. It's still a very real thing in this world. And I think that there are going to be people in this world that are like, just ignore it, like act like it doesn't exist, pretend like harm isn't being done to women, that women don't deserve love, women don't deserve respect, women don't deserve shelter, women don't deserve protection. Like that, none of that is even remotely true. Okay. So this is like a very deep reading that I'm getting into, that I'm starting off with. But I'm feeling like it's really important to emphasize here, Scorpio, is like you don't deserve to be treated this way by anyone or anybody. Okay? You don't deserve to be hurt and attacked. So, looking at this card, Five of Wands here, um, your soulmate is someone who is going to defend your honor and stand up for you. All right, Scorpio, I just wanted to read you this affirmation um, uh, that I got from my sister. And it says, I lead with confidence and grace, empowering other women along the way. Okay, so that's why I started this channel. Okay, Scorpios, I started this channel, and if you're not a Scorpio and you're watching this, that's great too. I love it. More the merrier. But yeah, I started this channel because I wanted to reach women all across the world and to really inspire them or motivate them or just be that light in the darkness, that voice in the, you know, quietness of like feeling alone, um, or even in the chaos. And there's so many voices, and you just need to hear one normal, sane person, you know. And I wanted to hopefully be that person, or hopefully can be that person, um, and help women feel empowered and help women get in touch with the goddess within themselves and all the beautiful um, energies within themselves, divine feminine energy, finding that balance and harmony within themselves. I found that through reading tarot, through watching um, tarot videos, a lot of great readers out there, and a lot of not so great ones too, but we won't talk about those people. But yeah, so I just felt compelled to read that to you, especially with this Five of Wands energy, because um, it's a harsh energy to feel, especially when there's a lot of chaos happening in the world right now and a lot of harm being done towards women. So yeah, and on that note, let's get back to the reading here. So someone has tied a person to a pole with leather straps. Their mouth hangs wide open and they are screaming curses out for unknown assailants. They wear dirty clothes and the symbol of Thor's hammer hangs around their neck. A wood pile appears at their feet. These four others wield long sticks that are on fire. A crowd of people stand near tall homes in the background. No one appears eager to help. A single rune appears right over the central figure's head. Okay? Alright, so basically, you know, Thor's hammer, it says here they wear dirty clothes and the symbol of Thor's hammer hangs around their neck. A woodpile appears at their feet. These four others wield long sticks that are on fire. A crowd of people stand near tall homes in the background. No one appears eager to help. A single rune appears right over the central figure's head. Okay? Sorry if I already read that. Yeah, so the meaning here is the Five of Wands has always represented anger, chaos, and confusion. This is not a happy card to receive. The old Viking ways, as we knew them, lasted up until the 11th century. They celebrated and worshipped the old gods of Nordic pantheon. The rise of Christianity put an end to these beliefs. Anyone caught practicing the traditional ways was branded a witch and put to death. The image on this card is a bit harsher than most definitions of this card. It doesn't represent the lengths man goes to control what others say and do. If this card appears in your readings, stand your ground and don't allow others to take your beliefs away. You know yourself better than anyone else. Upright, constricted beliefs, conflict, unable to trust, incapability of ideas, confrontation, reverse, imminent burnout, rise above petty disputes, allow for peace, own your mistakes, widen your perspective. Bind runes, stop and rest when you feel let down. Interpreting the runes means external obstacles and difficulties to be overcome. All right. So even if you've been let down by someone you thought was your soulmate, um, it doesn't mean that you're going to always have that encounter. It doesn't mean that that encounter is going to stay with you forever. And I know it probably doesn't feel that way right now, but I'm going to pull some more cards and we're going to move out of the energy of feeling like always attacked and feeling like your voice doesn't matter or your opinions don't matter, because if anyone is making you feel that way, that is definitely not a soulmate connection. So we're going to move past that energy and into a new energy where we feel more connected to ourselves and hopefully, the soulmate that we're meant to be with, we end up connecting with. Okay. So, representation of will. This card and the two that follow are drawn randomly after shuffling the deck. It represents the resources the current can rely on in order to fuel their action and proceed according to their intent. Okay? And your intention here that you want to achieve is obviously not to be constantly being in a place where you're vulnerable, you're in a vulnerable place, and like there are going to be crazy people out there in the world, evil people out there in the world who can take advantage of your vulnerable um, position that you're in. Okay, so we don't want that anymore. So this is going to help move out of that. Okay, Scorpio. So, ooh, we have the Two of Shields. Very nice. So it looks like, you want to share a meal with someone. You want to spend some quality time with someone here. You have the man and the woman sitting down enjoying some food together. Okay, so that's a much nicer connection. That's a much nicer energy. And someone who's willing to share their food with you, share a meal with you, sit down and start a fire, like warmth, shelter, have just, it's that's such a healthier connection than someone who's like, burn the witch, we don't want that. So, Two of Shields here, okay? Food, shelter, these are like resources that are just like basic resources, for survival that you're gonna want to have with a person. You might want to share in resources with a person. So two people sit next to a fire. They are both dressed in light armor and have their shields sitting next to them. A beast roasts over the spit. Each person has a part of the animal in their hands to sustain themselves. The sun hangs low in the air, signifying the day's end. It looks like it's going to behind the mountains. These people either have to hurry to get back to the clan or spend an evening under the stars. A single rune appears above the spit. Meanings. The Two of Shields is a card of understanding the law of cause and effect. Growth is a messy process, and sometimes we take on more. It causes other areas of our life to be out of harmony. Instead of juggling multiple things in the air, this card asks us to look at the core challenges we face and see what we can do to find the balance again. What obstacles or challenges are you facing? What help do you need assistance? Overextending yourself leads to more burnout. It does no one any good. The keywords here are taking a break, handling your energy levels, finding the path, equilibrium, juggling more than you can, reverse too many concurrent tasks, being too rigid, being taken for granted, narrow-minded view, find rune, adjust yourself until you reach balance. Interpreting the runes. Raid is the ability to skillfully use all available tools. And you are so capable of doing this, Scorpio. You are so capable of using all available tools. And um, this is, of course, a beautiful concept, right? You are enjoying a meal with your person, right? But you also need to remind yourself that, like, you have to, um, be able to provide for yourself. You have to be able. Viking women were trained to be shield maidens. They were trained to be warriors, to defend themselves, to defend their clan, to defend their family and their friends. So it's not just, you know, it's not just you being like, okay, I can rely on someone else. I can rely on someone else. There's always going to be someone else. Um, it's like resourcefulness and using all your tools available. It doesn't come from relying on everyone else and everybody else. It comes from within. So I think you are a warrior, you are a fighter, and you are a survivor, and you can get through things. Um, so your resources, talking just about shields alone, shields are used to protect. So what are some things that are going to protect you and keep you safe? A roof over your head, food, like warmth, these water, like these basic things are going to keep you alive. And I think a true soulmate understands this. Okay, because there's a lot of people who have like set up a sort of system for themselves that they can fall back on, right, if they don't feel like surviving with a person, right? It's like a way out for them. It's like a ticket out for them. So they're never like fully in it with you. Someone who is fully in it with you has like sacrificed a lot to be able to like build something with you, right? And you're in it together. And I just find, like, I just sense that it's like um there's gonna be connections out there that like want you to like give them your full attention, give them yourself, make yourself available to them, make yourself free for them, and then take away all the hard work that you've done to build up your resources, to build up your protection. It's like they almost don't want you to be protected. They almost don't want you to have what you have. And that is not a real true soulmate connection. A soulmate wants you to be protected. They want you to feel safe. They want you to have all the resources that they know you need, and they like support that, and they try to achieve that with you, and you do it together. That's a true soulmate connection. Okay. And you contain that energy within yourself. Obviously you want to protect yourself, and you want to like have your own resources. And a soulmate wants you to have resources too, right? So it's not just you have your stuff, right? It's you have your stuff together. Okay. So now, representation of sacrifice is the next card. It represents the understanding that in order to gain something, something must be surrendered. Letting go can be as much as important as to grasp. And we have Judgment, the Valkyrie. Okay, so I feel like you are like one of these reborn, transformation here, Scorpio, happening here, judgment energy happening here, the fallen warriors, the other tribes people who have fallen, who have fought to defend and honor their tribes, their family, themselves. And the Valkyries send, that energy, like they choose the ones that are chosen to go up into Valhalla and sit in the Great Hall and feast. And I feel like feast celebration, Thanksgiving is right around the corner. So, and, I think that's like, there's such a key component here to this reading where it's like you go from like being attacked and feeling like you don't like deserve to be safe, or you don't deserve to like feel loved or protected or supported, because wands are very much related to like supporting energy. So you go from that to feasting, from eating, from to the Valkyrie being like visiting you. Okay, so I'll talk about that right here with the Judgment if you don't know what the Valkyrie are. Alrighty, so sacrificing your like life for another person, like we're not saying that, right? We're not going that far, right? Like this isn't like a cinematic movie or anything like that. This isn't Titanic, where Jack sacrifices his life for Rose. Okay, we're not going that far, even though that obviously very controversial, but that's obviously a soulmate connection. That was a soulmate connection. That's a perfect example. Okay, we're not in that extreme right now, right? We're not like on a life raft, but this is like, think of it as like a metaphor. What if you are on a life raft, like metaphorically? What if you are down so in such a dire situation, such as the Five of Wands? Okay, maybe not tied to a post, but like metaphorically, you're in a bad situation. You're struggling here. You feel being attacked here. You're going through a stressful, challenging experience, and your person has got your back, right? They're supporting you. They're rescuing you almost, like they're. So there's a balance here. There's like an equilibrium here of this here. I just feel like there's like a duality too, because both the reverse and not reversed energies, I think, are really like in this reading, honestly, like definitely in this reading. Um, so yeah, judgment. Okay, hues of yellow and orange distort the world. Viking longboats burn at the water's edge in the distance. Bodies lay on the ground everywhere. Shields and weapons litter the ground. The forms of the Valkyries appear all over the land. In the center of the card, a single Valkyrie stands at the foot of a fallen soldier. She wears a golden feathered helm. She is dressed in white and wears a leather bodice over her top. Metal bracers protect her arms. She stretches one hand out over the dead body and releases her spirit from the mortal coil. The soul rises and stares at the woman. Two incarnations of the rune called Ingwas appear near the woman. One hovers brightly over her head, and the other floats near the soul of the deceased warrior. Meanings. Judgment represents a call to meet your fate. You don't have to be dead to hear this call, although being attentive and knowing your heart's desire does help. When you know precisely what you want in life, step into that role and grasp it with both hands. Wake up each day to meet the challenges that stand between you and it. Know that you have the power to become what you desire. In Norse mythology, Valkyries were winged ladies who appeared at the end of a battle. They selected the fates of the fallen. Some get to live, while others are chosen to move on. Those who have passed on are found worthy become Eherjar and moved into the halls of Valhalla, where they become part of the army selected by Odin. Only half of the fallen would go there, the other half gets taken by Freya, where they would live in the fields of Folkvangr. When the Valkyries were not attending to the battles, they would stay in the halls and serve Odin and the Anhar. Okay, so there's the fields, and there's the Great Hall. Okay, and um, either one of these is like it's fine. Like maybe you were a warrior in your past life. Maybe you went through some crazy stuff in your past, and now it's like time to relax, right? Time to just like be in the fields. Or maybe you're going into the Great Hall. Like, I think this is like very symbolic to like maybe some days you do feel like a spiritual warrior. You do feel like you can go up against a really difficult, challenging thing, and you're called to action. You're called to seize the day and help and step up. And other times I feel like you're like, I need to just go be in the fields right now. Like, I need to just go chill out, okay? And I feel like your soulmate is like so understanding of like they're not telling you to like always like um put on the helmet and the sword and go fight the battles and fight the challenges. They're saying, you know what, you've already fought a lot of challenges. Maybe it's time for you to take a break. You know what I'm saying? So there's that too, okay? Keywords: upright, resurrection, being worthy of Valhalla, heed the spirit's call, time to move on, become part of something greater. Reversed, resisting the call, avoiding connecting with others, ask questions, hold yourself back, unhealthy lifestyle. Okay, so I think you are one of those people where you are like always answering the call, and I feel like you're always connecting with others. And I don't think you're holding yourself back. I don't think you have an unhealthy lifestyle. I just think, Scorpio, that in the past you've tried to help people in this reversed energy, in these unhealthy things, and it's backfired on you because then you get blamed, right, for if something goes wrong, when that's not true at all. Okay, that's what I would call a toxic relationship, a toxic connection, when you get blamed for other people's problems and they project those onto you. Okay, um, now we have the runes pronounced Ingwas. Heed the call and nurture your potential, store and release energy. Translates to seed. This rune is named after the god Ing. Vikings thought that Ing gave birth to the peoples who would rise and become nobles. As a rune, Ingwas represents all the potential every mortal has. Ingwas connects to the cycle of birth and death. It also includes processes of withdrawal and transformation and returning to where you started. All this falls under the creative creation umbrella. When you receive this rune, know that you've been given a seed. Whether or not this seed is a physical or mental one, it will need tending. Take the potential of the seed and plant it. Nourish it with what it needs, even if it means you need to give something up for it to manifest. Watch it gestate and grow as you tend to its every need. When you have it, hold on to it and work it until completion. And that's what a relationship is. That's what a healthy relationship is when you both are nurturing and loving each other the same. So um, keep loving and nurturing yourself, keep loving and nurturing your partner. If you don't have a partner, then, you know, keep loving and nurturing yourself. And if you do connect with somebody, make sure that they are loving and nurturing themselves, but also they're loving and nurturing you too. It's an equal balance of give and take. And yeah, I think that's, that's that sacrifice we talked about, right? Like sometimes you have to give a little bit of yourself for your person, and sometimes your person has to give up a little of themselves for you. And as of late, I've been really witnessing a lot of connections where the male in the relationship is like really not uh, giving anything. Okay, like there's no give and take. It's like it's all on you, right? So that I would say, take it with a grain of salt, but I would say is not really like the ideal partnership, right? So just take that little piece of advice there if you want. So representation of consequences. It represents how the situation may evolve and change, and it points out the responsibilities of the Corn for the good and the bad. As a symbolic act, the Corn may carve or draw the runes he finds in the cards in order to connect with greater depth with his own intent, to channel his own will, to accept the sacrifice, and to face the consequences of their actions. Okay, so you might want to draw the runes out for protection, um, or I've seen like they have like bumper sticker runic bumper stickers and stuff like that. I noticed, but maybe someone has a tattoo of one of these symbols. But like, let's take a look here now at the consequences. So I love this. The last card, final card that came out is the Empress. Okay. And I love how this came up with consequences because it's like the mom of the tarot, the mother archetype. And that's what a lot of moms teach. I'm a mom. We teach our children there are consequences in life, like small scale, large scale. There are consequences in life. So, and it's not to be like harsh or to come off as like making a feeling of disappointment feel like it doesn't matter. It's actually the opposite. It's meant to teach us like the less disappointments we have, the better we're gonna feel. But disappointment is still part of life, regardless. So we have to just learn to like move through that energy. Like go through it. Just push through it. You know what I'm saying? Like don't avoid it. So that being said, okay, so this Empress energy is it's just a loving, nurturing quality, okay? It's like, you fall down, you scrape your knee, your mom puts a band-aid on it, right? She like gets your favorite snacks from the store. Like, I don't know what kind of mom you had. I'm just going off examples of being a mom myself. But yeah, so the goddess Frigg sits in the finely decorated chair. She wears a blue gown and holds a spinning needle against a wheel in her right hand. A white thread spins around the wheel, adding to the spindle at the end. The rune Berkano at the center of the spinning wheel. The goddess cradles a Viking baby in her right hand. The baby reaches out with one hand to grasp the woman's dress. The goddess's sword and shield rests against one of the chair's legs. It has been painted in white and red stripes. A raven sits on the pommel of the sword. A small chest sits at Frigg's feet. The Empress in tarot represents a creator archetype. They contain the passion to make and build, their power to imagine and bring it into reality as a potent idea. Usually, tarot limits this process to giving birth to new life. However, Empress energy is expansive. They are spinners of fabric, the teller of tales, and the artists with an unlimited imagination. They have an eye for design and desires to bring all her ideas to fruition. While the Empress appears young and tame, they are not. All genders of Viking society were strong warriors. They were all taught how to fight and defend both themselves and their clans with swords and shields. Mothers are fierce protectors when their children are in trouble. The Empress is ready to kill for their child. The finery that appears on the chair and their clothing shows how the Empress has an eye for quality. The chest at their feet shows us that they have gained some wealth. Their world is abundant, and they won't go hungry. A long staff of hair from the livestock their clan keeps rests behind the chair. This will keep them spinning for many days to come. Upright, abundance, feeling creative, enjoy the beauty of the earth, love yourself, feeling happy and fulfilled. Reverse, scarcity, overwhelmed, feeling scared or stifled, creative blocks. Pronounced Berkana, birth cycles of life, creativity. Berkana, it represents the cycles of life. This fertility rune is also connected to the notion of mother and nurturing. The shape of this rune looks like the breast and belly of a pregnant woman. This rune helps us connect to the rites of passage we face while being alive. Berkana is also sorry. It's also what I was writing, a tree rune, and it represents the birch tree. Birch trees grow by seed. Remember, judgment was all about planting that seed and watching it grow. So now we have like two major arcanas that are talking about planting seeds and watching them grow. Just like in any relationship, you both together commit to being together. You plant that seed and you watch it grow. Okay, and you both have to nurture it, water it, feed it, all the things. Like even with a baby, it's like your relationship is like an energy, okay, where you have to keep pouring into that love and nurturing and caring and all the good things, all the positive things. And then yeah, there's going to take turns. Yeah, there's going to be ups and downs and lefts and rights and woos all around, okay? But the point is that you come back to center, okay? So the Empress card, because of the connection to the mother archetype, they are associated with creativity, creation, nurturing, and taking care of what is theirs. Both the card and the rune represent the cycles and challenges that all mothers bear. If you drew this rune, take care and pay attention and intention to what you are doing. Stop rushing through the process, slow down, and make each move with intent and care. Life is not something to race through. Tend to what you are doing and watch it grow. All right? So, basically, like the consequences for not doing that with your soulmate connection are going to be the connection doesn't last, it doesn't work out. And I've had my experience with that for sure, where I thought a connection was a soulmate connection, and I was definitely nurturing that relationship. I was definitely loving that connection. Kept giving. In all the ways, financially, emotionally, physically, and then when I was like really like on my low, and I was really having my stuff happening, and I was going through some stuff, and I needed help. Not really so much financial, because I'm not like, I don't know, I'm just not one of those people, like I'll suffer in silence before I like really reach out to someone. But regardless of that though, like the the point is that that person was not supporting me at all. Like I not like sometimes you don't need to necessarily like ask someone for help. They should already know that, because they've spent time getting to know you, that you need help, and that you are one of those people who doesn't always ask to be rescued. Maybe you don't always ask to like, you are trying to defy all the odds and trying to do everything on your own, and um you need someone to come in and bring in a loving, nurturing quality and energy, and come up with creative ideas, um, to prove to you that they're in it too, right? And to prove that they're like fully invested in this. It's not just you proving yourself, it's them too, and you both are working on it. So, and all that stuff about, oh, I don't need to prove my love, blah, 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 blah. It's like every day you gotta like prove you're in it to win it. Every day you gotta do something, a little something, even if it's just like getting your person a cup of coffee, even if it's just like, taking out the trash, even if it's just like, you know, your person's sick and you make some chicken soup. That's like my favorite example. I don't know, it's just so simple to me. It's just a simple thing. And but to some people, it seems like, oh my god, I gotta make you chicken soup. I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. Cuckoo. That person's cuckoo. So, anyways, but that's my whole thing on your reading. You know, keep nourishing yourself, your soul. Keep doing your spiritual work, your light work. You know, that's all about just like keep on loving yourself, you know, and taking time to really remind yourself of what's important to you and focusing on that, because sometimes, as much as I feel like a lot of people in this world want to like find a person and be with a person, it's like if you let that go, if you let that whole entire like concept go for a minute, you're gonna find that the person that you want to be with is gonna connect with you. They're gonna come into your life, and you don't even have to worry about it like at all. And you know, that's just the greatest thing in life, is like when at the right time, at the right moment, you're going to get your person. And also take a little bit of the fact that maybe they're not going to be perfect you know, in all the ways. You know, maybe you're just, you know, meeting them briefly for a short time, and then that's it, and then that's, you know, what you got out of it. Like, just, you know, I don't know, but anyway, that's my reading for you. Love and light always, Scorpio. Try not to stress out about finding someone right away, like, you know, no, just take your time with it, process it, give yourself time to think and get to know a person, get to know how you are around that person, and then just go from there and trust in your heart. And I'm sure it will lead you to your soulmate. So that's my advice. Love and light always. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye.